So not for this, we're not going to do anything, but you could. It's going to go next. So basically, this is just the information saying that the servers I'm clustering is a Windows time, the Win32 time, and storage I'm using disk 1, and the name of network name is going to be lab cluster genserv, an IP for both of these, and then it's just going to be a local service. It's not on the network, so just for this machine. So now it's creating that. If you look up here, it says configuring high availability data, configuring network names. So we're just gonna. I'll teach you another way. So basically, this is done. There's no red X or anything. I could just go to view report. It's gonna open up my internet, and then it's just gonna show me all the application, whatever I'm running and what got configured. Right here, my configure IPs and everything. Like, I mean, this will give you the whole detail of the cluster information. I'm just gonna close that out. So I'm just gonna go finish. So if you're looking at it right now, it's pending. It hasn't started. It's trying to figure out which node it's gonna take first. Is it gonna be? Is the application gonna be running on node 1 or node 2? It doesn't really matter. It needs one of the nodes to run. So right now it's just trying to determine which one it is. So if I go node 1, there's nothing running here. But if I go to node 2, I have the application pending here. In order to see this application in more detail, I could just double click on it and then see. I could look at it saying that the name is this is cluster gen using this other resources window. So right now it's down. So what I will do is I'll go to properties and then dependent. This is really important. Okay, so basically this, you could have multiple applications dependent on one. So for example, I will say disk 1 needs to be on in order my application to start. And then once, if disk 1 is not on, then the application is not going to be working because the application is located here. So then I could go, and I want 105 network to be on, and I want the 192 application. So basically this is saying that disk 1 will come on, then the lab service will come on, then we'll make sure that the 05 comes on and 81 IP comes on, but we're not gonna worry about that. Oh, you do have option to go and or. For this it doesn't matter, but for here you could go or. So this is basically saying if 105 or 10.00.5 doesn't come on, you could have 192 168.1.81 to be on. So instead I could just go like that, or I just go delete. For this I'm just gonna delete. It doesn't really matter, just go OK. So now see how this was red before, now it's on. So now this application is actually running on my node 2, and if I go back to storage, it's saying that disk 1 is being used here and disk 3 is still available. And then here's my application, my service, and this application came back online. What I'll show you, if you want to add, see right now if you go to add storage, say you on your storage server you have multiple disks that's not being used, but you want to do it right now, you could go add and then click what disk you want to add. So if I go add this 3 and then I go OK, this 3 will be added to this service. So that's saying, oh, you could add multiple disks. You don't have to add it when you create the cluster. You could just create the cluster on one disk and then you could just add multiple disks on that service. So other resources, and then if I go on my right and go add a resource, I have all these added service, added script, more. So I have all these stuff I could add to run the application. For example, I could go to add IP address. So if I go to right click, I go to property, here I have the option. So I want the 10.network. So this not allowed, sorry about that, IP address. So I technically can't use that. I need to be, this is basically going to reserve another IP, but I don't have that set up yet, so I can't. But I'll show you that in a different video. So I'll go add an access point. So here I'm going to set up another access point for the client access point. So it's going to be 6. This is also a service. I could have multiple services running on one disk or multiple disks. So I just go next, then just finish. It's gonna say configuring client access point. Okay, so okay, and then see how I have server names. I have 2 applications on both on disk, and then for this I could go bring resources online, or I could go property and then set up whatever I need to. I could go push part2 records, dependent, like I told you, that you need whatever application, or so this is basically saying this could be online or this could be online in order this application to start. So I'm just gonna cancel, and then I'm gonna go bring resource online. So it's online pending. See these, if you look up here, it's getting this hourglass. So this, both the new service I just made for a client service or a client access point is still part of my lab gen application. I could have multiple services running under one service. I could go like this. So if I go to node 2, it's still pending. This usually takes a little time because it has to bring both of these IPs online. I could go add storage. I'm gonna put disk 3 on advanced policy. This usually takes a little time, but while this is trying to turn on, I'll show you I'll go back. I'll show you something else. I'll go back to the lab gen server. Okay, so never mind, it came on. So basically I have both of these IPs depending on under this, and then I have both of these disks, and so I have actual services running right now. So these are high availability. So for example, it's on node 2 right now, and then there's nothing on node. Now if I turn node 2 off, all of this should move to node 1. So that's the failover part right there. So I'm gonna go pause. I'm gonna pause this node and see if any of the things failed over. I'm sorry, you can't pause it. You gotta go action more, stop. No, you can. Give me a second. Okay, so actually you want to go on whatever service you got. You're gonna want to right click and you go more action. You can move resource to another application. So you want to go that. You can't do that either. Okay, I'll just show you the best way to do it. So I know everything is on node 1 right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this application, and then if you look at this and move this service or application to another node. So I'm gonna move it to node 2. It says yes, move it to. So now it's gonna fail over to node 1, and it's pending right now. So this basically 50% of the cluster we just saw that it works, but now it comes to the what happened if your power goes offline on one of the clusters, like both of the power supply failed or the CPU failed. How is it going to work after that? So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to move it back to node 2, move it to node. Now this is going to take some time. It's going to try moving back to node 2. the more applications you have running, the slower I get. But I mean, this is just a lab, so I only got like 2 gigs RAM. But on a enterprise level, you'll have a really powerful machines with gigs of RAM, terabytes of space, so which is much faster than this. So it's just moving. It's saying this operation is taking longer than expected, so no problem with that. So if I go to, while this is doing that, if I go to computer, and then I'll see all these disks right here. These disks, I showed you disk 1, disk 2, and disk 3 are actually part of my, see how that failed over? That means it's actually going to move to my node 2, and if I go to node 2, if I go to computer, the disk should be failing over. This is just taking a little longer. I have multiple services running, so that's why this is kind of slow. But like I said, in real life, this is gonna be pretty quick. It's not gonna take that long in order for this application to fail. So it's pending. It's coming back online on node 2. No, it got moved from node 1 to node 2. And yeah, this is, like I said, this is really slow. So all the application came back in node 2. So now comes a real test, because everything is on node 2 right now. So I'm gonna go to my actual node 2 server, which is right now, and that's all these disks. What I'm gonna do right now is shut down node 2. So here, just cluster test. Yeah, so bam, it's gonna knock. And if I go to node 1, and while the computer is actually shutting down, it's not I want to see if this moves to node 1, because the machine is not fully shut down yet. So if I would just gone there and just pressed the power, then it would have automatically failed over to the other NIC. So it's stopping cluster servers, so I just want to go, let's just force this, so I want to go power machine off. This is you don't want to do that, so we'll go here, and then see how do you see this little arrow right here in node 2 saying that node is down. Then everything is pending here, so everything is going to come online on node. So that actually worked. So it's taking a little time, but all the application did failed over to node 2. And if I go to my storage, lab 2, the NIC is down, but the cluster NIC worked because node 1 is on. Same should be for this one. The FE2 failed, but FE did come online, so all the services are working. Alright, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want me to do any more videos, just leave a comment. My next video will be on how to set up a Windows 2008 storage server, and then I'll do some other video. Just thank you for watching this video.